Retail and hospitality is changing, with often complex and fragmented systems combined with large volumes of customer data for businesses to make sense of. It's critical to work with the right partners in order to guarantee success. At Tratec Consulting, we help retail and hospitality businesses transform their technology, removing overly bloated processes and creating unified and efficient systems of working throughout. So don't just take our word for it. See for yourself. Tratec Consulting, the leaders in technology transformation across retail and hospitality.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the All Things Borough podcast, the official podcast for Farnborough Football Club, and sponsored by Tratec Consulting. Tratec takes your business visions and turns them into innovative reality. Good evening, everybody watching us on YouTube. It's me, Alan, and I'm joined by Simon. Good evening, Simon. How are you doing?
Very well. Yes, very good. Week off this week.
I came quite close to the camera now. I don't know what happened there.
I know. I was don't know. I thought we were talking about an earthquake earlier when you having to move your office base. I thought it happened earlier than we thought. Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks. Yeah, but week off this week. Happy days.
Yes, I had a week off. I had a week off as well last week. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we don't want to have our holidays at the same time, do we? That's how the rumours start. So we don't want to do that. So
that and I don't actually want to see you. So that's why we do it like this.
Exactly. Yeah, it's much better. You don't get no spreading of diseases either while we're this far apart. Yeah, AI is not
People will talk, Simon. People will talk, Simon. So you carry on in that vein. I'm going to put you on mute.
Not those type of diseases. I should have. Yes. Yeah. I ended up down in Portsmouth last week. And nearly ended up on a bit of a grisly trial. So there's a local news story's been going around about it. It's these dead bodies that weren't preserved.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not allowed to talk about it outside.
No, it doesn't matter. It's an ongoing thing. So yeah, dead bodies, etc. And it's not. Yeah, it was not really nice. So I'm quite glad I'm off. To be fair, and not down there.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's lighten the mood and
yeah, let's please hurry up quick.
As everyone can see that is watching us on YouTube, everyone can see we've got Jonny Stuttle with us tonight. Good evening, Jonny. How you doing?
Good evening, guys. Yeah, all good, thank you. All good. How are you?
Yes, well, apart from Simon and his grisly trials, but yeah, I think we're all good. I think we're all doing well. I mean, football side of things, we're not doing very well, but well, yeah, we'll talk about that a bit later on.
Well, it's supposed to be lightening the mood. Don't talk about the football.
I know.
We don't lighten the mood. Don't talk about the football. For God's sake, how we make it worse?
Well, I mean, we won't talk about it, but it could have been any worse than my weekend this weekend anyway. On yesterday being Sunday, but yeah, we'll skip over that. And but Jonny, listen, look, how are you doing anyway? We know. Let's talk about how the season ended last year with us at Farnborough. It was a good end to the season for you. Was there any talks potentially about coming back before you made the eventual loan move away?
I had a few people ask me. Obviously, they did well with my time at Farnborough, so it's natural to have for them to ask the question. But obviously, I am tied down to Bournemouth, so at the end of the day, it was quite short-lived conversations. But yeah, end of the season was good. Yeah, like you said, I did very well there. Enjoyed my time. That's the main thing. I was playing games, scoring goals, enjoying my football again, which is something that has probably been lacking, especially the start of last season, and through my time on loan at another club.
That's what you get. That's what you get for going roadie shot, mate. I'm afraid that's what happened.
But no, it's just good to be playing, good to be enjoying my football, and I had a good squad around me and a good set of fans. Cheering us on.
Definitely a fan favourite. You were definitely a fan favourite there with us and with the rest of the club as well. So coming the end of the season, when once everybody knew that obviously you weren't going to be coming back on loan for this season, everybody was a bit gutted. But then what that did is that brought around a good loan move a bit higher up to Walsall. So was that always the plan with you as obviously being a young player, a young striker? You've come and done the groundwork, worth playing for the National League South side. So obviously, was it always a plan talking to Bournemouth to progress and go up higher?
Yeah, well, of course, like naturally, everyone wants to play as high as they can. Obviously, there's other factors that come into it, like I said, enjoyment. But ultimately, you want to play at the highest level you can. And obviously, was the older shot before, and then dropped down a league, which a lot of people think would have frowned upon, especially in my position as a player. I mean, a lot of people would have frowned upon dropping a league, and they would have been. Yeah, I think it's very naive to look over it as a drop down and see it as almost as if you're too good for it. And I know a lot of people do, and that's the reality of professional footballers these days. They're not all, honest and hard working and got the, I guess, mentality to. And a lot of it comes down to being humble. I think that you have to sometimes drop a level to then move on. It's almost sort of one step back, two steps forward as such, which it was. So I was just sort of.
Also, as well, like I say, with Aldershot, you didn't really get that much game time with them anyway, did you? So
no, exactly.
The drop down was essentially just to try and get as many minutes as you can, and that's what happened when you came to Farnborough. You hit the ground running. You were just playing all the time,
that's
really.
It's
playing and scoring.
All you want to be doing is playing games. Like when I was at Aldershot, it was, I felt like I was doing all right, but I wasn't getting the chance to show what I'm all about, and that's probably one of the most frustrating times of my career, I think, so far, is because you sort of know you're good enough. You know that the team was struggling at that point, so was the club as a whole. So it's when you can't sort of give what you can give in that situation, it's very frustrating. So the step down was needed, and I sort of cherished the opportunity to go and play again. And thanks Spencer and his staff and all the fans as well for a warm welcome and just giving me a chance to do what I do.
No, brilliant. And then so this season, the move to Walsall on loan came about. Was there any other clubs in and around that level that were looking as well?
Yeah, there was a couple. Weirdly enough, I didn't get too much from the National League, which is strange. But there was a couple in and around League Two. So sort of from the bottom to the middle to the top. Well, looking at last season's table, so you know where they've finished and whatnot. So at that point, it was just picking the best move for me. Unfortunately, as far as the fishing's afraid, it wasn't really possible with the four clubs that were in for me. So geographically, it wasn't great. They were all quite far away from home, but at the end of the day, I'm a professional footballer. That's sort of part of the game is moving away, and you just sort of go wherever you can and where's going to be best for your football career at the end of the day. And that's what it was. It was I landed on Walsall. Seemed a great club. They had a proven record with loanees before, so it seemed the right fit for me, and it was obviously up until this happened. But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you did quite. You did quite well, didn't you? When you started, obviously, did you do pre-season there as well?
Yes, I did pre-season. I was in there from day one. Cool. So I had the option to do pre-season at Bournemouth or do it there, and I just thought I'd take the opportunity to do it there. It would be something a bit different. And I was, I enjoyed my pre-season. I was fully fit going into the season. Felt good. Felt physically and mentally in a good place. So it provided me everything I needed. And it started, I think, four league games.
Yeah, did four league games and one cup game at the Britannia, wasn't it? The old the 365 Stoke. We won't talk about the missed penalty.
No, we won't. That was a bit of a bad night there. But I started 4 games. It's a tough one because of a striker and not. Well, I think it sounds very selfish, but if you're not scoring, you're not happy. And I was doing, I was playing really well, but I'm never happy with not scoring, which sounds quite selfish. But if we win games and you play well, great, that's fine. But I just feel like there's always something missing with your performance, and you're not totally satisfied if you don't score. And that's what I was doing. I was doing really well, sort of bringing others into play, holding it up well, running in behind, working hard. Working well with my partner, strike partner, but it just wasn't clicking in front of goal. And it was not like I was like horrendous, like not clinical at all, missing every chance I got. Like I just nothing really dropped to me. I had no real clear cut chances or whatever, apart from at Stoke. But that's just the way it is sometimes, and it's a bit disappointing for me because I didn't feel like I really shown what I could do. I think at Farnborough I was doing it. I know I was probably at my A game at Farnborough, doing really well, showing what it was all about, but it just didn't happen at Walsall. And maybe it was going to click. Do you know what? Ironically as well, I felt that game when I got injured against Grimsby. I just thought I'm going to score tonight. And you get the feeling, and I started to play, and it was just everything was clicking. I was doing everything right, and obviously it happened. So it was a bit frustrating, but that's just the way it is.
What happened with the with that injuries? I had a look before we came on about you. So you're a bit unlucky, really. It's the first game. You obviously Walsall got a man sent off, then you got sacrificed, didn't you? After about 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you're a bit unfortunate there. They probably looked at him and thought, oh, he's the young new guy. We'll take him off and sacrifice him rather than someone more established. Which tends to happen, doesn't it? And then obviously, you had you had a League Cup game at Stoke where you unfortunately missed the penalty in the shootout and got beat, which was a bit unfortunate. And then obviously the injury. What happened with the injury? Was it a bad tackle, or was it just to jump up?
You know what? It was
funny, or
weird thing is I can't remember it at all. So I had to watch it back, and I was very, very nervous to watch it back because I don't really like watching. It's fine when it's other people. Like I can watch other people fine, but when it's yourself, I think it's a bit different.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it back because I have no recollection of it. It was really weird. All I know is I was running parallel to him. We were sort of shoulder to shoulder. So I watched it back. The ball's sort of bouncing around our box, and I'm sort of stood on the halfway line. And our defenders, it sort of dropped to him, and he's sort of just, sort of hoofed it, literally just hoofed it up the channel on the left-hand side of the pitch. And so me and the defender are both running side by side like that. Yeah. And I've sort of tried to step across him to just sort of give him a nudge to then allow myself to run onto the ball. But somehow some metal studs got caught on the floor. And as I've nudged him, I've tried to push off to go back this way, and my studs got caught. So your foot's stayed in the floor, but I've gone that way. So it's sort of like you've gone, foot stayed, and I've gone the other way. So, but even when I did it, I didn't think much of it. Like I went down and I was sort of testing out, sort of trying to straighten it, and I noticed that it wouldn't straighten fully, which is a bit of a weird feeling at the time. But I thought, you know what, I'll carry on. It's fine. The physio sort of said, you know, you're not showing any signs of anything sort of major, so he was happy for me to get back on.
Pain? Was there any real pain with it?
Do you know, not really. It just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. And then I went back on. I was sort of running around for what felt like forever, to be honest, trying to get on the ball. And then it was, probably about 30 seconds after that, someone's played a ball into me, and I tried to play a pass around the corner, sort of beyond my right shoulder. And as I've put all my weight onto my right foot to then swing around with my left, it's honestly just like collapsed. And I thought the defender was behind me, and I thought he'd just come in and like smash me from behind. Yeah. And I've heard like a massive like crack. It was almost like snapping a plank of wood. And it wasn't very nice. But and then like I said, my memory's sort of gone a bit blank from it. But I just remember sort of at that point knowing something's not right here. And that was.
Well, you stretch it off. I take it in the physio room, or did they take it to the hospital straight away, or did they?
Do you know what they offered to stretch me off, and I said, no. I was like, no, you're all right. Like, that's fine. Like, I don't want to get stretched off. I was like, that's fine. I'll walk. And so I walked off, and it was just like sort of clicking every time. And I thought, this isn't right. Yeah. So and then I went into the physio room, and he's sort of doing all the tests they do on you, and then he said, it's good thing is it's not your ACL. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And then lo and behold, next day I went for a scan, and got the news that it was. So weird.
What do physios know, eh?
What did he say?
I don't know. I said, what do physios know?
Oh no, I know exactly.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one though sometimes, isn't it? Because there could be many. Obviously, in your knee, you've got 3 different ligaments in there, and sometimes you look at it and you think, and obviously you weren't showing. By the sounds of it, you weren't so much signs of being in too much discomfort, and they're probably more hopeful that it was just something minor. But obviously, we mentioned off air about what happened after you. Then obviously, you had to wait a couple of weeks to have the operation done, weren't you? And there was issues with the fluid on your knee. Just to go into a few details there, if you don't mind, about that and your recovery period and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was just so after I'd done it, I stayed up there. So I did it on a Tuesday night. I stayed up there until Thursday morning. Yeah, because we were off on the Wednesday. So I was off on the Wednesday, and on the Wednesday I went to go and get a scan. So the thing is, I drove home from the game, I walked in, I got showered and whatnot, drove over from the game. I sort of felt all right. And then the morning after it just like blew up. It was like nothing you've ever seen before. It was about, honestly, it's about 2 or 3 times the size of my other one. And I thought, that's when I knew I was sort of a bit like, oh, this isn't great. And then, so I went in for the scan on the Wednesday, got the results back on Wednesday night, and they'd said what I've done. And obviously at that point, my head's, well, it was sort of flying, to be honest, because I've been told something. Yeah, it was a tricky time because everything's going through your head. You're thinking, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And you, sort of overthinking it all, thinking of the worst, and then sort of trying to talk yourself out of it and just, But, so then I went, I got a lift back from Birmingham. So I got a lift back down to Bournemouth. They sort of checked me over there just to make sure I was fine. There was nothing else going on that they couldn't see. And then they had to drain it a few times. They put a syringe in on the outside of the knee and had to drain a load of fluid out. It was a ridiculous amount that they got out of it. But so I had that done once. And as you can imagine, it sort of reduced the size of it a bit. And then must have been 2 or 3 days later, it just went like this big again. So I had to have it drained again for the second time. And then it was about 2 days after that I had the surgery, because they just sort of said, right, we're going to go ahead with it. And that was a bit, I don't know, it was a bit of a nervous period then, because it was like so I've never had surgery before, so I didn't really know what to expect.
Right.
So it was, going into it sort of open-minded, but also completely sort of, not knowing what to expect, which is a good and bad thing, I guess, because had I have known what it had been like, especially in the early stages of it, wouldn't have wanted to do the surgery, put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's things things you can't do, isn't it? It's like your life's sort of on hold, and you're sort of stuck indoors, not letting you do anything. You were telling us you haven't been able to walk to the shops and do simple things. You know what I mean? For how long were you off your feet for? Pretty much.
Hang on, I've just been attacked by a dog here.
Yeah, don't tell him not to go for the knee. Yeah. Johnny's off. Yeah, while Johnny's off, they're dealing with a dog. He's no, you're back now. There we go. I'm just going to say to Al, you sound like you're talking. Obviously, we spoke before, and you're quite well sort of media savvy, quite professional when the way you speak. But I could tell by the way you're talking, it's kind of it's affected you quite a bit.
Oh, 100%. And do you know what? The early stages, I didn't know much about the injury. It's something that you don't want to know a lot about. I guess the less you know, the better, because it obviously means you haven't done it or know many people that have. So I was sort of going into it very open-mindedly, and I was just sort of thought, it'd be painful after. But the fact is that, so I waited 2 weeks for the surgery. Post doing it, I waited 2 weeks, so it was it wasn't starting to heal, but the pain was starting to wear off. So I was able to put weight on it again, probably about a week after I did it, and you were starting to be able to walk again and sort of regain a bit of normality. I could have probably driven about 2 weeks after, so I was sort of starting to get back, I say to normal, but starting to sort of regain some normality and normal sort of functions and everyday functions that I guess people take for granted. So having to go from doing it to then sort of getting a bit better to then after the surgery. I remember after the surgery, the night after I was fine. So I had it done at about 7:30 in the morning. So I went to London for it, stayed the night in London, then went straight to the clinic in the morning. And it was done by a top surgeon called Andy Williams. He's sort of, the best in the country. Well, apparently so. So that was, very, very sort of reassuring to have to have the best one in the country. And I think it was about 3 weeks before he'd done James Maddison. So obviously that was, again, he'd done James Maddison and Van Dijk, I want to say.
Oh, right,
so, it's nice to know that he's done some pretty big characters. But, it was... I remember the night that I come back, I was fine because I was still on the painkillers, like under, all sorts, whatever they give you. So that was okay. I couldn't really feel it, to be honest. I couldn't feel any pain at all. But I remember that first night when I was off the ones that they give me and onto some sort of less powerful ones, should we say?
Yeah.
That was horrible. I remember I went to bed, so I was tired because obviously the anaesthetic had fully worn off by that point. I went to bed at, I think it was about 9 o'clock, and I woke up on the hour for every hour until 5. So I was up at 10, 11, 12, so on and so forth for every hour. And that was just like you do, you sort of twitch in your sleep. And I remember I twitched the slightest bit and I was, in agony screaming. It was horrible. So yeah, it's been a bit of a tricky period. There's been times in football before where I've not necessarily enjoyed it, and I've had thoughts of not quitting fully, but I've had periods where I've not played for sort of a week or two due to sort of mental health problems and not really enjoying the game as much as I used to. And I think that was because of transitioning from part-time doing it, sort of playing with your mates, to then full-time, and it's a lot more pressure. There's fans wanting you to win. So that was about 2 years ago. I felt that 2-3 years ago, and then to have this now. So I've sort of known what it's been like to be close to, I guess retiring might be the wrong word, but sort of, taking a break from the game. But there has been times within this injury, even though we're still early on, by the way, there's certainly been times, especially at the start, just after the surgery, when I didn't really see myself coming back from it. And it's an injury that a lot of people do come back from when they come back and they're stronger mentally, physically and whatnot. Yeah. But certainly early on, there was thoughts of, is this for me? And it's upsetting to think that, because obviously where you've had such good times recently, at Farnborough, and I've had good times at Walsall as well. Definitely pre-season. So it's quite upsetting to feel those sort of feelings.
But it's normal though, Jonny. It's normal to
definitely
feel those things. You're in a long-term injury, which obviously, like you said, many people have suffered with before. But I'm assuming that that Bournemouth have helped you out with that sort of side of things, as well as obviously the medical side of things with the surgery and the rehab. So I'm assuming mentally they're helping out as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I've got a psychologist at Bournemouth. She's brilliant. So she's helped me out with all that stuff before, even when I was talking about sort of falling out of love with the game.
Yeah.
So she helped me back then. So we've got a really good relationship. So now she sort of knows, I guess, how I work and how I function mentally. Yeah. So I've got a really good relationship with her. So she knows sort of, like I said, how I work and whatnot. So she's really good to have around. And obviously, you've got coaches and stuff as well. Your coaches that you're really close with and have been for X amount of years. You've got players. So I spoke to Alex Scott about it in the first team. I've spoke to, honestly, loads of people. Brennan Camp at Dorking, I spoke to him a bit. Yeah. He done his. You've got so much support and loads of people that can, sort of relate to you, because they've done the injury, they've done similar, they've had setbacks and whatnot. So you've got so much support out there, and it's nice to have it. And it's reassuring to have all this support and know that people have done it before and come back, and people have done similar, and people have had setbacks. Like, everyone's had setbacks, but maybe not to this extent. So it's nice to have people that have done this and even more and have come back from it.
Is it? I take it you're reassured by that, because obviously I was going to say before you mentioned, actually, you speak to ex-players like Alex Scott's obviously he's England under-21 player, and he's similar age to you. He's a bit younger, and you've got obviously Brennan Camp, the other end of the spectrum, who's slightly older, and they've all been through it. So I think you can sort of use their kind of advice and experience, can't you, to sort of get through the bad times, because there are going to be. I mean, as you know, there's going to be tough times during an injury. There always are, and you're going to have some setbacks. So you just got to try and when that happens, you've got to try and reach out to them, haven't you, and try and grab their experience and try and use it.
That's it. It's just using others' experience and their experiences and events that they've experienced before to sort of use their advice and whatnot to shape my recovery, I guess. But you're right. Everyone has setbacks. There's going to be setbacks along this as well. I've already had one. So the outside scar, I don't know if you can see.
Oh yeah.
Got a big plaster on it.
Oh yeah.
You mind standing up a bit, Jonny? Show us. I think the fans would like to have a nice grizzly picture.
So I've got one there, one nice one there, and then I've got one on the outside. But so that got infected must have been about a month ago now.
Oh really?
So it got infected. So there was a suture, which is like a stitch. Yeah. That was supposed to dissolve but didn't. It was honestly like a bit of wire. There was no chance it was dissolving. So that, I think it was just irritating the scar. So the scar had fully healed. It was fully like the ones I've just shown you. It was like that. And then the suture was obviously irritating it. And then it got infected and then burst open and split. So I've had that. So obviously just when you think you're getting better, you're starting to walk again, and obviously, just knocks you down again.
Yeah.
So that's been frustrating again. Obviously, when you think it's fully healed and you're on the mend and you've sort of cleared, because that was the original, not concern, but a possibility that like any scar or cut, it can get infected.
Yeah.
But they said it's usually sort of 4 to 6 weeks that happens. This happened at 8. So obviously it was like, frustrating. But again, we're on the other side of that now. So hopefully that's that all cleared up.
Yeah.
And it's practically
I guess
now.
with a long-term injury like what you've got, it's about, and I've had this with a conversation with one of the girls in my ladies team who first game of the season smashed her knee and has had to have an operation. She's got a big scar down her leg now, and but I say saying to her, because she's obviously not going to play again this season, but it's about those little individual battles, individual targets that you've got to set yourself every week. Is that something? Are you doing a similar sort of thing rather than just sort of go hell for leather and go straight through 100% all the way through to recovery? It's setting little targets every week or every day.
Like,
I
haven't even thought about sort of what would it be for I don't know, 6-7 months from now when I return. I haven't even thought about that. It's been, for me, so the first thing I said was, I can't wait to ditch these crutches. Like I said, I'm gonna snap them when I'm done. I've had enough of them. Like they were like part of me. I couldn't stand them after a while. I said once I can ditch them and I can walk, that's gonna be a massive thing. So then all of a sudden it was down to one crutch, and you start to get a bit more sort of rhythm in your walk, and you lose the limp a bit. Then it must have been about probably 3 weeks ago. I lost the last crutch, so now I'm crutch free.
But you find that sort of freely. Those little targets, those little goals, lifts when you've completed them. That lifts your mood as well.
100%, because you're able to do more regular stuff. Like I took my dogs for a walk for the first time. It was about 2.5 weeks ago, and it was like this feels so good. Like honestly, the list of things, the most normal everyday tasks that you take for granted, they're the ones when they come back they feel so good. And it was 2.5 weeks ago now. I bought a new car because I sold my car. Long story. So I was able to drive again, and you can drive and you can go to the shop and get a coffee. Like honestly, the list of things when they come back, they feel so good. And I remember being sat in my car just thinking, like, I've waited. Honestly, I waited about 8 weeks to do this, and it just feels so good. But even before that, it was like, I remember I had to shower, so I couldn't shower for like the first week. Then I had to shower, sat down in a chair. But honestly, I was on a time limit. But like where I'd been sort of sat upright, my leg sort of flat like that. As soon as it drops, all the blood rushes to it, and it killed. So I was sort of on a time limit. So even being able to shower, stood up was great. And then like you said, it's just those little things, like showering, standing up, walking without crutches and without a massive limp, and then walking your dog. And all of a sudden, in a minute, it'll be swimming, then it'll be running, then it'll be sort of light touches on a ball. Like I remember this afternoon, for example, I've been lifting weights in the gym, doing lower body stuff, using the leg that's injured or was. So it's just nice, doing these things that pre-injury you take for granted and you'd never think would be taken away from you. It feels so good.
No, you don't give them a second thought, really, do you? Before something like this happens.
Yeah, and now it's so nice to be like, oh, I'm going to go on a walk the dog, or walk to the shop or something. And you do appreciate it a lot more now that you've had the opportunity to not be able to do it as such.
We've spoken to Aaron Cole recently. Obviously, he's got a bad knee injury as well.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't.
He's got a bad leg. He's got a
leg break.
Yeah, he had a bad knee. He sorted that out, and now he's got a bad leg. He's obviously in a similar position to you, sort of doing step by step, long-term injury, that sort of stuff. He's obviously trying to develop some new hobbies and things like. He likes a bit of cooking, and I suggested knitting and embroidery, but I don't think he liked that too much. What did you have you thought of doing anything to pass the times? Obviously, you can't do it too much. Obviously, going out and stuff. The only going out, driving the cars, shop, coffee, that only takes up certain amounts of time, doesn't it? It's I generally find it's the kind of the long winter evenings are the thing that get most people. You need to find something you enjoy doing. Is there anything in particular you want to start trying to do? Maybe
do you know what? I've started cooking a lot more now as well.
Have you?
So obviously, I was living up in Walsall on my own, so then it was sort of all hands on deck to start learning to cook. So
great gravy on chips up there, isn't it?
Yeah. So now I've got that bit more time on my hands, essentially, to just like you said, learn to do new things and develop skills that are already there. It's been nice to sort of spend a bit of time with the family, learn how to do certain recipes and whatnot. It's been nice to do that.
Yeah, you got to try and take these things on board and think, do you know what, I've got the time to do it. It's like me when COVID, I was off work for like a year. And you think I did the same as you, started cooking, or burning, as most people would say.
I'm sorry, but I can't believe that you're comparing his time off with an injury to you being laid off work.
Listen, I was going to talk about my gout issues. You know what I mean? It's very debilitating, but I don't want to bore everybody with it again. You know, it's been 2 years.
Going back on Cooley, obviously, because he suffered a bad double leg break earlier on in the season. I don't want to sound horrible when I say this, but you understand how lucky you are being in a professional club and as a professional player, because Aaron had to. Well, Aaron didn't do it, but the club, Farnborough, I don't know if you saw, but Farnborough started a GoFundMe page for him and raised, I think it was just over £13,000, wasn't it, for him?
Yeah.
But with you being a professional player in a professional club, you get all that help and surgery and rehab and that it's all there for you, ready to go.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've had,
I don't want to sound horrible to you about it, but I don't want to come across horrible. But you obviously understand how lucky you are to be in that position.
Definitely. Like I know people that have had to wait a year for the surgery, so it's like by the time they should be back, they haven't even had the surgery yet. So and like you said about Aaron, obviously he's not got the facilities, and he's not as fortunate as me to have that backing behind me. He's got backing, don't get me wrong, he's got the backing of fantastic people like yourselves and other fans, and obviously the club as well, and other people in the community. But I've got a real strong few members of staff that are working closely with me. I've got people at the club that are rooting for me, fans as well, and then obviously the financial support of the club as well, in terms of paying for the operation, the hotel the night before, all that stuff. It's a real privilege to have all of that going for me and helping me towards a return.
Yeah, well, obviously don't forget. Sorry, don't forget you've got your own family to fall back on as well, haven't you? Have your family been? You got brothers and sisters, or just mum and dad?
Yeah, I've got a brother. We all live at home. Mum, dad, dog as well. So it's been nice to be back at home, obviously, where I haven't spent much time, probably in the last coming up to probably 4 years. So I haven't spent as much time as I have now at home in about 4 years. So it's nice to be back here, and nice to be around the family again. Probably in the wrong circumstances, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to be back, and you got to cherish these times, because in an ideal world, so cool, I wouldn't be doing this again until I'm about probably 40. So in terms of having a football career, so it's nice to have this time off and be back with the family, although like I said, in the wrong circumstances.
No, well, normally, if obviously without the injury, you'd still be in Walsall.
Exactly, I'm coming back sort of once a month, so I guess there's silver linings.
So in terms of when the loan move happened, obviously we're going back to it now, but in terms of when the loan move happened, what exactly was part of the deal? Because obviously you weren't going to be travelling from Bournemouth every other day for training and then matches. So what did Walsall help put you up, or did Bournemouth pay? So
Walsall put me up in a house. They put me up in a player's house with 2 other players. It was, so that was quite nice. It was, so you had the sort of familiarity of being with other players that you train with, but also got your sort of bit of freedom and alone time, which is nice. Yeah, you got your own space and whatnot, so that was good. It was working really well. Yeah, it was, like I said, it was nice to sort of be around other lads that you're familiar with and you can train with and have a laugh with. But also, you've got that time alone when you
Were
need to
they
switch off.
other
You can.
were they other lone players as well in this house that you were sharing with?
There was one other. There was one other lone player, same as me, from Watford, and then there was a lad that they signed from Eastbourne, Courtney Clark. You might know him from last year. Yeah, so he was just signed there, I think, a couple of weeks before me. So he was a new signing as well.
Right.
So yeah, we were all in there together.
Did you request anywhere? I mean, if it was me going up to somewhere I didn't know, I'd probably say, listen, put me a flat above a fish and chip shop. Would be quite helpful. You know what I mean? Right there. That'd be quite nice.
Yeah.
I mean, if they knew you were eating fish and chips every night, they wouldn't have signed you.
It's a stable diet, mate. Stable
you've
diet.
just got to have I had a lot of faith in them, and I've got faith in Bournemouth. Like, I know Bournemouth wouldn't let me go to somewhere that's not good for me or whatever. Yeah. So you've just got to have faith in them, and I had faith in the club as well. I spoke to the manager, and he was sure that it was a nice place. And there was a couple of issues to begin with, but yeah, it was sorted, and we got there in the end.
Yeah, they're good. They're good fan base. Walsall, because obviously when you signed out, there was a few. You did get a few dodgy comments. Oh, this Stuttle bloke's no good. Blah 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 blah. And a lot of Farnborough fans were actually speaking on your behalf.
Yeah, no, I do see.
Yeah, give him time. He's really good and stuff like that. Then obviously, because I think it was all around the first game. Obviously, I said, as we mentioned earlier, you got taken off after 22 minutes. No fault of your own. And then you obviously you're playing. So obviously the manager had faith in you because you started every game, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a really good relationship with the manager. He's obviously saw lots of clips of me before I joined, and obviously that's why he signed me. So yeah, I had a really good relationship with him. We got along really well. Yeah, and obviously the fans were really good as well. They had a great fan base. Like you said, there was a few that were sort of a bit negative to start off with, and then a few that were a bit negative after a certain game as well. And I had a few interesting messages, but no, they were really good. They were really good to me. I went to go and watch them play against Eastleigh as well in the FA Cup, and I got a nice reception there. Yeah, and I had a lot of nice comments and a nice few chats with them as well. So they were a really good fan base.
It's a really good football area up there in Walsall. There's lots of Walsall. You're in the Birmingham area. Obviously, around there's loads of really good clubs. So it's a good footballing area. But you always tend to find there's always that sort of 5% element that they always like. I think from their point of view, it's kind of every fan wants a player coming in who they know or they big name and stuff like that. So it's probably from their point of view, Jonny Stuttle playing in the National South last year is probably not what they were hoping for, possibly. But you've got to give people a chance with it, haven't you? So
that's it. Yeah.
It's a shame the injury happened when it did. Really, I think as you said, you were just starting to find your feet, get started, and it sort of cut you down.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. That was the most frustrating thing for me. It was like I didn't feel as if I showed what I could have done. Not out of effort, not at all. Like I give 110% every week, like I always do. But it just wasn't clicking, and that's no fault of anyone's. At the end of the day, it's down to me. But yeah, it just things weren't falling for you like they sometimes do. And I just felt like once I got the first one, it just would have started to tick, and it would have started to sort of get going. Like it sometimes does. You sort of go through patches of not scoring or not playing well, or both, and then all of a sudden, all it takes is one good thing, and then all of a sudden it starts to tick over, and things start to put themselves together, and you hit a good run of form, and all of a sudden you're scoring week in, week out. So I think that's just what I was waiting for, was that first one, whether it was lucky, whether it went in off my arse or something, whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, football's funny like that, isn't it? Because you get some players you sign, especially for loans. I mean, obviously you've been out on quite a few different loans, and sometimes you get like you had to spell at Aldershot where you just didn't get a chance there, really didn't get in. Then you came to us, and then you're playing every week, playing really well, scoring goals. Fan base loves you, that sort of stuff. And then obviously you go to sometimes it just happens. Football's weird, isn't it? You kind of have you sometimes you fit in really well and you hit the ground straight away. Other times it takes a bit of time. And some players they just don't hit the ground at all, do they? And then they'll go on they'll go somewhere else and they'll score. So probably like Mo Salah's probably a great example of that. And he was at Chelsea, rubbish. Couldn't get a game, and then he goes off to Italy, plays brilliantly, and now he's a Liverpool legend. That's just weird.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, some players that just the face didn't fit, and I didn't feel like that was the case for me. Also, I felt like I was in the right place. I had good teammates around me, a good relationship with them. The fans were backing me, and everything was right. I felt physically good, mentally good, and I was happy. So, yeah, that was it. It was just the case of waiting for that first one to go in, like I said, but it didn't. And I'm not one to sort of stay worried about these things and keep thinking about what could have been. I've got to keep my head up, crack on with this rehab, and almost get back on the road and get playing again.
I think what helps with you, Johnny, as well. You're not only you're a good player and you've got loads of potential, but also you're grounded. You got sort of your family's at your heart and it's your base, but also you're a good bloke off the pitch as well, and you want to learn and improve and work hard. That always endears you to people, and it'll help you in your career as well if you carry on with it.
100%. I think too many players and people nowadays they sort of either good players or some are just good people. So I think you got to be both. Like if you're a good player and you're a bit of a wally, you're not very good.
Do you think those kind of people will sort of take it a bit too seriously?
I know
obviously you're professional players, and you have to be obviously serious about your game, being a professional.
Yeah,
and you have to train every day and whatnot and all that stuff. But can those kind of players that are good players and a bit of wallies, do they take it a bit too seriously?
100%. And you get people that are not even necessarily like idiots off the pitch, but like I've played with a few lads before. I won't name any names, but they've just been, I think, like you said, too serious, and they do take it too seriously. Like it's their whole life. I think probably one of my biggest assets to why I've done well in the past has been I've got the ability to switch off from football. Yeah. So if I have a bad game on a weekend, I won't stay sort of pondering on it, and I won't be stuck on the fact I've had a bad game. If I've had a bad game, I just want it sort of out of the way.
Yeah.
And I go back home like I usually do, and I'll get out on the boat, go fishing, take the dog out for a walk, whatever. And you just have that ability to switch off. And I think if you don't have stuff to do away from football, I think, like you said, you can take it too seriously and you can almost do too much. Like people can watch too much football, they can be obsessed with it, and then they go in a week and So I think you definitely can do too much. I've definitely experienced it as well with people that just do too much, and they will just crash out and they'll burn out and they'll just completely have enough of it. Which
Simon's one of those people that takes it too seriously. He thinks he owns Chelsea Football Club the way he goes on about it sometimes.
It's what happened to me, Johnny. I would have been, a Premier League player if I hadn't burnt out at 19. You know what I mean? I'd have been there. Too much football. Watching too much football.
Too many burgers as well.
Yeah, and fish and chips. I do like my fish and chips. I pretty much all food actually. You're right. It's a hard thing to balance, though, isn't it? Getting it right, because you say you very easily switch off for your bad game, just put it behind you, move on. But sometimes people can look at that and think, oh, he doesn't care, then you get the other person who will take it too seriously, ponder on it weeks and weeks and weeks. They're still playing and they're still worried about the chance they missed the previous game. Exactly. So it's very hard to balance it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what some people have said to me before. They say, "Oh, you don't care," and I think that is like so wrong. It's unbelievable. Like the one thing I value the most in football is the fans. So I always play. I give 100%. Like there's no doubt about that. Like I mean, you boys probably would have seen it at Farnborough. Like, I was chasing everything. Like I want to give back to the fans because at the end of the day, they've paid their hard-earned money to watch you play. Like they've paid God knows what 2 hours, however many hours of work you've got sort of the money from that, and you've put it back into the club to watch us play. So I then feel a responsibility on me to not only entertain but obviously give lots of effort towards the club to give back to you, because I feel like that's like fans are the driving force of football, and without them, there wouldn't be many clubs left.
Yeah,
and I think that kind of what you're saying there, that you coming through like playing in the National League with although you didn't play many games for them, but then obviously playing for us, you kind of you can see the fans, you can touch the fans. Whereas I don't know what it's like playing higher up in the Premier League. Obviously, the noise obviously from fans around the stand is everyone just sort of molds into one noise. But when you're playing at like Farnborough, you can almost, especially away from home, you can almost hear individual.
And individual 100%. Yeah, I think
you're so close, and
especially at that level, you've got a more, I think, defined relationship with the fans. So you do know who's who. Like I'd go and shake hands with you boys after every game, and it's nice to have that relationship. And I think it's probably lost the higher up you go. I think obviously in the Premier League, like do you know what I mean? Players aren't going to know who that fan is and that fan is. So I think it's nice to have that relationship with the fans, and that's something that I definitely definitely thrive off at a club is having that good relationship with the fans, and that's what I try to do at every club I go to. Is because it's they'll support you, and you've got to give back to them in every way you can. Which I mean, you've seen like at Farnborough, the support was fantastic. Like, I loved it. They were praising me and whatever, and giving me all sorts of songs and whatnot. So it's nice to give back to them, and not only score goals on the pitch, but obviously you've seen when I celebrate, I do like to get them involved.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
It is the thing that I think is endearing more sort of maybe older fans. I think a lot of older fans, like myself and Alan, are in the same boat here. We probably the only thing we have got in common, but we've kind of gone from obviously supporting our Premier League teams like we have done all our lives, but we don't tend to watch a lot of top flight football in this country anymore. We prefer the non-league game because it's more intimate. You get to know people like yourself.
Yeah.
And you get to see people, and you can almost feel the blood, sweat, and tears off people, off players when they're playing. You're right close to it, and it is endearing a lot of older people to non-league games, to the non-league game now, I think, and it certainly helps when you've got someone like yourself who wants to give back to the fans. Well, because some players they don't, they're just there for the weekly wage and sort of quite happy just to go through the motions.
That's the other thing, though, Simon. That's what they don't understand, and what Johnny obviously understands is the fans when they're coming in, they're paying their money. They are paying your wage at the end of the day.
That's it, yeah.
Or some of it.
So,
yeah.
Well, some of it,
depends on what your wage bill is.
Yeah. No, that's where the gate receipts go. Do you mean the gate receipts, sponsorship money? They all go towards paying your wage.
Yeah, they pay for the players' wage
to entertain and
give. Obviously, speaking on that, probably more of a roundabout circle. Or have you been keeping an eye on the Farnborough games? And obviously, we're not doing that great at the moment. I wouldn't say it's I personally don't think it's sort of panic stations time quite yet. But
This is what you're saying on air, yeah.
Yeah, what I said earlier. I didn't forget all that.
I'll post the text messages.
That was the evil brother talking. Obviously, have you been keeping an eye on results at Farnborough and sort of seeing how things are going? And is there anything you can suggest to try and help us?
Yeah, no, of course. I've definitely I've always been keeping up with them ever since I've left. I've been checking up on them pre-season, and I've still got the notifications on for Twitter. So I'm always checking and keeping a keen eye on the results. But obviously not going your way at the minute, are they? But I think it's a tricky one because I think the squad's changed a lot from last year, hasn't it? And there's been a real mix up. Like, you've still got what I call the core players. Obviously, you had sort of Cooley, you had Jack and Ollie as well, Robbo. So you've still got those what I call leaders and ones that sort of lead from the front. But it's a bit of a tricky time. But you've just got to trust Spencer and what he's doing. I think he's got all the right players to sort of almost replicate what we did last year and more. When I was seeing the signings in sort of June and July time, I was really excited by it. Like I tweeted before about Ben Greenwood. Obviously now it's
he's left. We were in the same boat as me because we all thought the same. We looked at them and thought everyone else, as usual with Farmer, we were sort of late to the party almost. But it's done deliberately every single summer. So as soon as the fans, the hardcore fans sort of start realising that, the better really. But we are late to the party. But it's not like we're not doing anything. We're just waiting and seeing what goes on. It's done deliberately. But we had like I say, on paper, we've got people like Don Polion and Rax Bingham up front, good players. Mason Greenwood's back as well. Blazer Broomfield is back, and you mentioned Ben Greenwood, who sadly left now. He's gone down to Gosport, down your way. We it looked like we had a really, really good side, but we're very inconsistent. I don't know if you've seen our results. We had some really good results.
We
had really good results. We beat Maidenhead,
Dorking,
both at home. We've beaten them. Obviously, people probably forget. Only 2 months ago, we went down to Chelmsford on a Monday night and won 5-2. So you know what I mean. We had some really, really good results, and it's been, but unfortunately, it's been splattered with really bad results. Like Saturday's probably as Spencer said in his interview, it's probably the worst possible result he could have imagined. Really losing 5.
But I mean, I think like all clubs go through bad phases, and not say this is a bad phase. You've just had obviously a couple of bad results. But you think back to last season, like we had a few what I call bad results as well. I mean, we lost to St Albans, Chesham, who else? Hornchurch. So but then again on the flip side of that, we went and beat Worthing, drew to Dorking. Probably should have won there.
Yeah.
Drew to Truro. So again, that was quite inconsistent then as well. We were sort of losing to teams that we should have been sort of getting a result from, or even winning, and then beating teams that we should have on paper, probably have lost to. So I think you've just got to trust what Spencer's doing, trust the players as well, because at the end of the day, it's not like they're not trying. So I think you just got to trust them, and you've got good players there. Like, I've been watching the highlights. So you're scoring some good goals. You obviously got great defence as well. So yeah, I think you just got to stick with it. Like, times are tough, of course they are, but it's still early days. I think. I mean, we're not even December yet, are we?
Yeah.
So as much as you look at the table and you like it to be flipped on its head, I think you just got to keep faith. And like I said, it's early doors, and you just got to see how the season unfolds, how this sort of January.
Is that your advice to the? Because there are a few, like Simon touched on it earlier, with the 5% of fans, the dissenting fans that aren't happy. Maybe, like, I mean, Spencer's alluded to it as well in a couple of his interviews, that don't really sort of understand what's going on.
I mean,
is that your advice? Is that what
I can't see the bigger picture. I can't see, in all fairness, I can't see half of it. All I can see is the results and highlights.
Yeah.
Like, I want to come to some games soon, obviously, when it aligns with my schedule. But from what I can see, you just, like I said, there's tough times at every club in certain periods, but you've got all the tools to put it right. And ideally work your way up the table and get to where you should be and deserve to be. So, as much as I can't see the full picture, I just think you've got to trust Spencer, trust the players as well, and hopefully, we can turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to, obviously, you may be aware, we've got a very, very big game tomorrow night, which I'll be at. So if anyone wants to say hello, say hello. We're playing Chippenham away, which obviously they're struggling as well. And then we've obviously got the flip turnaround of that. We've got a home game against Ebbsfleet on Saturday, so they're two really big games, and I really do think tomorrow night I don't want to say it's a 6-pointer, but it looks like it might be already at the stage of the season. So I think it's a really important game. Like, we had two really important games last week, which we unfortunately lost both. With Slough, we were a little bit unfortunate, but I was at the Slough game, and it's like Spencer's alluded to. It's a lot of stuff in. We're doing really good things, but just in both boxes we're struggling a little bit, like putting chances away and giving chances back. So
again, but like I've said before, sometimes in football you just need a bit of luck. Like, you might, like I said, you get a bit of luck, and then you might go up the other end and score via a bit of luck, or someone might miss a chance for them, and all of a sudden you've won a game, and then you might just hit a run of form, and all of a sudden you've won 3-4 games on a bounce, and you're up to 13th, 14th in the table, and you're looking the polar opposite to what you were. So I think sometimes all you need is just a bit of luck, and your fortunes can change massively.
Yeah, you're dead right there. I mean, if you look at Slough's second goal, I mean, we were pushing to get an equaliser, and they broke on us, and the guys hit it from about 25 yards, and it's hit somebody's arse and flew over Jack's head and went in. So that's game over. So you're right. Luck does play a big role in things, but I do also, on the flip side of that, I play devil's advocate a bit. I do think you make your own luck also in football sometimes by just doing the things, doing the basics well, and doing the correct things at the correct time, making good decisions in good areas. That sort of thing. I think we are a bit guilty of doing that.
The harder you work, the luckier you get. I'm a big believer in that. So again, but to say people aren't working hard, I don't know.
I might record some of these statements, and we'll play them in the dressing room before the game tomorrow. It might have some effect,
Well, no, I might say my next game with my ladies' team, the way that we're going, I don't know. But look, Jonny, before we let you go, and let's quickly before we let you go, what's the next stage now with you in terms of recovery?
What will I be doing next and upcoming? So I think next it'll be getting in a pool in one of the pools we've got at the club, to essentially start to run and get the mechanics of running. So I mean, today it sounds mental, but you're just learning the mechanics. So honestly, like lifting your knee up, then driving forward, just like such basic things and things that you take for granted again, and you'd think are so easy to do. Now, where I've lost the function of doing it, you've really got to, I think, mentally focus on what you're doing with your body. It's almost like, I think so before I was walking with a bit of a limp, and I thought I was walking completely normal. Like, I thought I was smooth as anything. And the physio said to me, "Oh, look, you need to start doing this and this." And now it's just a case of, starting to get the mechanics of running again. Then I'll be in a pool to take all the weight off of me, essentially. So I'll have no gravity basically. So there's no weight going on the joints or the knee or anything. So then I'll start to run in there. Then we've got a machine which, literally takes all the gravity away. So it's called null to G. So it takes all the gravity away from under you. So again, you'll have no weight being put on your knee. Then you'll literally just slowly be, pointed in the right direction towards running. Then from there it'd be, again, strengthening all the muscles around the knee, which I've been doing at the minute with all my gym work. It's a long old process. Then you'll be starting to kick balls sort of 5-10 yards, and then sort of start of open up with a running and sprinting and turning of direction. Then it'd be non-contact training, so I'll be kicking balls, smashing them about, hopefully in the goal. Then it'll be contact, and all of a sudden you'll be looking at return. So there's a lot to fit in. As much as it sounds quite easy, as in terms of you just need to be able to run, then take a hit, and then you'll be able to play. There's a lot more that goes into it, but I'm in a much better place now, mentally and physically, of course. So I'm really looking forward to what's ahead, and hopefully it'll be. You're in the
best place. You're in the best place with your club in terms of facilities and stuff like that.
100%. I've got everything around me in terms of equipment and tools and whatnot. I've got all the tools to get me back to where I want to be and more. So I just need to use them and use the people around me, and I'll be there in no time. Yeah,
happy days. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, it's good to know you're on the road back anyway. Like you say, it sounds like a lot of things, but these are kind of basics of life that people take for granted. But once you don't, it's like riding the bike. You don't forget them forever. They'll come back. You just got to focus your mind on doing it bit by bit, slowly but surely. Set yourself little targets, and you'll be fine. Yeah,
that's it. And I'll be back. Yeah, back scoring goals in no time.
Back at Cherrywood next year for another loan spell. Happy days.
We'll have to see.
We might be in the Southern Premier by then. I don't know. I hope not. Too low down for you.
Yeah. Anyway, Jonny, don't go away. We'll have a little chat when we come off there. But thanks for coming on tonight. It's been a great pleasure chatting to you and learning about the injury and the mechanics of it and recovery, what goes into it and all that and all that. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I hope it's not been too traumatic for you talking about it, Jonny. To be fair, you have to go and have a cold bath.
Like a therapy session for you as well.
yeah.
But Simon, you got any last words to say?
No, just good to see you, Jonny. Like I say, best of luck with the recovery. Obviously, sorry it's happened to you, really, but it's happens to a lot of players at the level you play at. Just these things happen. It's always the most innocuous things as well. Sometimes they have the worst outcomes, don't they? So
that's it.
It is what it is. But good to see you. Glad you're doing well. Like I say, you're around all your family and you've got your dog there, so you'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, cheers, Jonny. Take care.
No worries. Thanks a lot. So, like I said, don't go anywhere. Everybody, thanks for watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This episode was sponsored by Tratec Consulting, taking your business visions and turning them into innovative reality. For more information, visit tratecconsulting.co.uk. That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as I said. And we will be back real soon, actually, with another episode. See you all soon.